Start the stream again. Take a sip of coffee. Oh, morning coffee. Oh, I wanna check one thing. Wanna check the competition. Hopefully I still have it is still in the history. And I don't see anything new, which is not really encouraging. This, so I need to go to the very top. He said that, well, the organizer mentioned, I think last message was here, yeah, keep an eye out for winner's thread. So I guess, yeah, it will be announced in a separate thread. Maybe it's already there, I just don't know how to look for it, if it's not tagged properly. Remember? Oh, so yeah, last year's... Oh no, this is not last year's. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. Oh well. I guess I'll know if I won when the time comes. I guess it took us 2 months to build, so hopefully it won't take 2 months to judge. But it might. I saw the number of submissions on the programming side was quite large. And my stream, Twitch streams, doesn't seem to be loading. It shows good bitrate. I'm looking at this. Like this looks good. Well, I assume since it's green that it should be good. But the stream itself is not really coming through. Right. Well, I guess while that sorts itself out, config. The hell? This happened? Need to undo more? Oh, so the names have been changed, that's good. Update config. So yeah. To the main troublemaker is parsing the translations. Okay, let's extract it to a new method. First of all, so self, name it something load translations. And don't see why it would be tables. Oh yeah, it has dictionary here, so I guess the call to load translations, the result will be assigned to the labels, and doesn't create load method. Love how it calls methods, not functions. I'm used to methods. Methods sound right. Functions are a bit sketchier, in my opinion. Sound a little bit more scripty. But I guess it is a scripting language, more or less, so... In Python terminology, I guess a function is more appropriate. So the section up to here, everything will be out. So this part. And now Well, I guess it will be doing the same loop, but it's not gonna be doing on one file. It's gonna be doing it on a list of files. So first of all, we need to figure out how that's done. And file operations, let's see, when I initiate the config, I check if the files exist. So that's being done using OS library, and maybe, can I just go and outline? Let's see, it's really hard to make out what the icons are. Sort by name, I don't think I want to sort, so what do I want to hide? Okay, I don't really want to see imports, comments. Yeah, I don't really care about internal functions and variables. Hide fields. Hide non-public methods, okay. Do that. Hide static methods. I guess static methods can stay. Let's see what we have left. And now we can arrange by name, maybe. See path, like. So what does this do? For implementing the file system path protocol. Okay, so this is an abstract. Can I... Static. I can't hide abstract methods. Well, abstract... there's nothing wrong with abstract classes, but you won't be implementing them yourself. They will be like used as parent classes for shared functionality between its descendant classes. Like, it should be somewhere around here. Back to the path. It's only used in the comments here. Code of file system encoding. Oh, it does use it. Just like a... Oh, so... oh, it is in the... inside itself, so... kind of self-aware. I'm not sure, that doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Just sounded right. Path like, so that's... I don't think that's of any use. See what methods we have. Add DLL directory X... FD open, that sounds something like that could be useful. FD if expected integer E. So FD is supposed to be an integer. Oh, I thought that's stood for older. I guess that's not what it stands for. Walk. Directory tree generator. This behaves exactly like walk, except that it yields. I think probably wanna go check the documentation. What does it say about? I think it has a separate chapter about manipulating files, which I'm kinda interested in. Language reference, I think that's where it will be. Files, file input. Port system. See. Let's go look at the config parser. I think it has a link to relevant sections. You can treat a config parser much like a dictionary. Yeah, well, that's how I did it. float, so different methods. Get int and so on. Interpolation of values. Even remember what interpolation means. Workshop supports interpolation. This means values can be reprocessed before returning them from get calls. Oh. Does interpolation mean pre-processing? Interesting. The default implementation used by parser. I guess it mostly talks about the capabilities. The parser, right? Yeah. Actually, update the load documentation section. Dates. Config parser object. Yeah, this is the one that takes file, right? Dictionary. Oh no. Maybe it does. Indicate documentation section. Path-like object, okay. I think that's what I want. Wait. Open. Oh, so OS open. Let's go to. Oh, I doesn't link it here. Let's just go to the library reference, I guess. Let's see what kind of documentation there is for OS library. No. Oh yeah. There's a library. OS path. File and directory access. That sounds. Oh. Basic use, pure path. What kind of basic uses? Okay. Listing subdirect, listing source files. Glob. I guess I could do the same and just have a thing. Well, let's have a dedicated extension for translations. Let's see. Navigating inside the tree. Path properties, pure path. I guess the nice thing about getting configuration files this way will be that I don't really need to check if they exist, because I get them from actually looking in the directory and seeing what files exist there. P glob, what is P? P is path. Interesting. So yeah, dot means current directory, at least in Unix systems. I'm not sure if it functions the same way on Windows. Maybe. I don't like that stream. My stream manager is not loading my stream. Really fill me with confidence. Fill me with anything. Confidence being one of the things. Fill me with. Oh, okay, it loaded finally. Let's keep it there. So path p glob. That's an interesting. Pure path. I guess I could use. I wonder what kind of problems it has. common path name manipulations. Exist is directory as file. Also, this is a OS path and basic use. This was path lib. Why is it path lib? Path. Okay. Merge offers classes representing file system path with semantic appropriate for different operating systems. Path classes are divided between pure path, which provide purely computational operations without input-output, and concrete path, which inherit from pure path but also provide I/O operations. Yeah, we are definitely interested in, well, not input but just output. Get what's inside the files. If you've never used this module before, just aren't sure which class is right for you, for your task path is most likely what you need. Instantiates a concrete path for the platform the code is running on. Oh, okay, that sounds about right. Okay, I'm sold. I'm using this. If I'm not sure, you most likely need this. I like the documentation like that. Pure, simple, straight from the source. Like, if you're not sure, this is most likely what you need. Like, that's great. Why this file is edited? Did I change? I guess I pasted something by accident. Wait, and it's still edited. Yeah, I don't even know. Not change these files, and here for the path, most likely need. So where is it? Low translations. Wait, it doesn't link to it? There's something wrong. Oh, it has errors. Yeah, what? Oh, what? How did I manage to do this? Yeah, this is where it should have. Apparently I'm pasting things everywhere. And import again? Well, most of my code is just copy pasting, I guess. Right. Here we actually can pretty much do the same thing they did in the example, because I'm interested in the same thing. So it creates a list. It passes the p glob. So p is path. Go read the documentation. Well, let's speak into the method what it actually does. Glob. Path. Well, imagine it's in path. And yeah, it is glob. Iterate over this subtree and yield all existing files of any kind, including directories matching the given relative pattern. Okay. So I can filter. So I guess our language files are, well, now I need to decide what kind of extension do I want. Maybe txt is fine. I think I'm overthinking this, because no one else will be using this software. It's purely for myself, and if someone else copies it, and yeah, well, I guess they can they can implement it in a different way. So let's see, path. Use p as well, and path. Do I need anything? Yeah, I don't think I will be doing anything with it, so I don't even need the variable. Let's have it do do the function and be forgotten about immediately. So translation files be the list, and that's how we initiate it. Then path with wait, alt tab doesn't work. So yeah, it just initiates with current directory, and I will be doing something different. I'm not sure what alt tab is trying to switch to, because it doesn't seem to work. And the directory is in oh no, actually it is in config /lang. So config lang, because the singleton is actually in the crc source directory, and the relevant language files will be in this location. So that's what I'm hoping to get. And now I can call glob. I'm not sure what does glob stand for. Glob, or is it glob? Oh, whatever. Pattern would be, what was the example? I like it. Copy paste. Copy paste is the king. Will be txt. Does it have a slash? That's that. What does that indicate? Okay, that's not good. Don't want stuff like that on my stream. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, okay, doesn't really matter. How do I delete, reply, block? Okay, let's move it from chat. Done. Okay, this doesn't really need to be playing, so fine. There's the documentation here. West path to join. West path. Yeah. Your path. POSIX path. Methods. As group lob. Lob the given relative pattern, the directory, then by the path, yielding all matching files of any kind. So it takes a path and adds this as a and the pattern, the double pattern means this dictionary and all subdirectories recursively, in other words. Oh, don't really want that. So it takes oh, what? So it looks for Python files in all subdirectories of current directory, if I am reading this correctly. Yeah, pattern large directory trees may consume ordinate amount of time. Well, I guess it depends on what kind of system it's running on. Pattern means okay. So these are special patterns, and where can I get the language from? What's the... I want like a legend of what key, what special values it has. I hope to find a reference here to the description. Guess it is linked somewhere. Yeah, but I don't see it. File system path. Would be nice to find it somewhere. Match. Like the syntax is used everywhere. It's like regular expression, like seems, but it doesn't look like it's an actual regular expression, like some variant of it. That's why I would like to be certain what kind of things, what kind of keys mean what. Alright, let's do, well, I guess we can do it with by trial and error. My favorite. So I think I want something like this. Or this. As I already have the correct directory here, and hopefully this will just list all txt files. That should be 4 txt files. Let's have some logging. Start and end. Here. Can't be bothered to sort this out, so let's make a breakpoint. And what kind of breakpoints do we have? Let's remove all of them because I don't remember where they are and it's not really important at the moment. Switch to debug, perspective. What? It should, okay, it hits, and translation file has... It has found Portuguese, Russian, English, and yes. Oh, Spanish. ES in Lithuanian stands for European Union. That's why I was a bit confused. Why I was thinking, why is European Union as a separate txt file? Yeah, that stands for Spanish in English. Right. Okay. So right. So now what I need is a way to extract the name. So let's see, translation files. And yeah, let's take a first element. Yes. So that's a POSIX path. And what does it have? Name. So yeah, name. So if I print this out, yeah, I get the name. Because the name stem. Oh. Ooh. I don't even need to parse it manually because I'm looking for the actual name without the extension. That's what I need. And stem, I guess it is named stem. Yeah, so because these labels actually represent the setting in the database. Oh, my database is not ready to be stream. Second. Disconnected. Where's my SQL? I think it will ask me to log in again. Yeah. Right. So yeah, you see language. Language is the thing. You see, it's well, currently selected as Russian because I was showcasing the capability at some point. Yeah, let's change back to English. English first one. Okay. Now if I do the same query, yeah, now the language is switched. So I want to use the names as settings. Well, the file name will actually be saved in the database as the choice of the language. Why to do it this way? Because, well, file names are unique. You can't create two files with the same name. Well, I guess you can with different extensions, but I won't be doing that. So, just to make it a little bit simpler, well, it gives me a degree of uniqueness. So I will use them as settings. What do I need to actually... So how to structure the actual translations now? That's the choice. So I guess I have a dictionary. Let's see how do I use it now. So strings. I think I already updated everything to use the singleton labels. The menu. Let's open a menu class. Pretty sure it uses singleton labels, right? So this is how labels, like the whole thing is like thrown around, all translations at once in one dictionary, I imagine. Yeah, so this is a dictionary with language, and then it has the name. I wonder if it would be a good idea to have 3 layers. So having name of the language, well, no, name of the field, then the language. Well, not in that order. It would be a dictionary with a bunch of languages, which will have dictionaries of menus, and each menu has its own dictionary of the fields it has. So it would be, instead of using 2 variables to get a value, I would have 3, and those values will correspond, the language will correspond with the name of the file. And if I open a file, now the name comes from the section. So this will be, since it's moved to the name of the file, I can use sections for something else, because now if I leave it like this, like, there are no more sections. It used to be that all translations were in the same file, then each section represented a different language. That's why it was named like this. So now this could be used for different menus. Right. I'm trying to think of a way, because now I will need to know, well, now two places will have to have matching names. That's the dilemma. Well, downside or trade-off, or technical debt. A small technical debt. I don't even know, how do you say debt? I think it's debt. I think, does it? Definition, I want the Google version where it shows, lets you listen. Maybe that's not a thing. No, not. Oh, I don't even know how to spell the word, wow. Okay, let's go to translations. Google Translation. Let's do a Lithuanian. What? Depth. That's what I was looking for. Can't hear it. Guess no one can. Okay. I guess I'll never know how to pronounce it. Debt. Technical debt. Debt. Well, it says debt, so I guess that's the phonetical representation. It's very confused why it doesn't want to play. Guess Google Translate is being shy today or something. Well, I guess I'll leave it to it. It doesn't want to participate. That's fine. Right, so what kind of sections do I want? I kind of want to have one special section for things like language. Or do I need it? It will only be used in the language menu, so I guess it makes sense to have a language section. Now, where do I keep the list of menus? Okay, this is a lot of... Oh, so this is the spaghetti code I started with. Okay, so close that so it wouldn't throw me off much. So language menu items, label field. So these are the names of the fields, but to get the actual names, but the fields are actually named, well, this is just a part of the actual name in the configuration file. And here it's being used. So for each field, get translation, field, labels, and language. So connects language. Self ID. So name, language, and list. Menu item, label, fields. Oh, so it... Oh yeah, so this fills in the brackets with appropriate values. Not really an issue. Oh, label fields, yeah, so this is how I pass around the fields that need to be filled in, but it doesn't really matter. So it's the ID. Language, what the hell? So each field is an or has its own ID. Wait. Yeah, this doesn't seem right. Something is a bit off. So it goes through all the fields, the context. Oh, if. Oh, so it has labeled fields in the context. So it fills in. Help it get translation. Oh, show is actually used. I am confused. Because this only gets one label from the configuration. Well, it used to be that one menu had one translation. but I split it into different parts, and I don't see where I actually take all those different parts, translate them, and so returns the message. Seem right. Oh, input menu. I guess input menu does have one, well, basically has one line of code, one line of text explaining what it is expecting to enter. Wow, the bots are active today. Guess it gives me something to do. Interaction is an interaction. Yes. Okay, so maybe this is specific to language menu. See options list. So this is called show. Yeah, so here it actually gets the. This is how it gets the translations of different parts of the message. So it takes title. Oh, this is just bolds it. Wait. So helper bold the title, or just have an empty string. And where do I actually set the values for this? Get translation here, it seems. So when I initialize it, so when I create the menu, it gets assigned the translations. Is that a good way to do this? So each time someone messages it, it creates a new instance of the menu with a specific language. I guess it makes sense. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think this is the best way to do this. I kind of want to have all the menus initialized and just pass different variables to set whatever is. I guess it doesn't really work like that, because different people will see different menus. There's different number of fields. There's one, well, maybe this is the way. Well, I guess I'll just leave it as is for now. Yeah, translation now would be somewhat different. So when I initialize it, it has the menu that it's from, user, which has the language inside, and the messages, which is the, well, when I initialize the menu, it takes this menu as well. Start menu is called somewhere around here. Handle user message, start menu here. So this is another method which returns the menu. Get start menu, so messages just initialized as a dictionary. Where does it get assigned a value? Wasn't I supposed to be use labels? Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't really work right now because I removed the portion of the code. Okay. I guess the main part is the translations. This has to be modified slightly to actually be able to read the translation, but I think that's manageable. That's not too much. So now instead of language and name, it will have language, section, then name. Right. So it checks if it actually has the name, otherwise it returns the field. Yeah, so this is like a fallback. If I guess this expression will get a little bit more complex because I will check if well, I guess I'll need to check both if the section exists. Maybe I don't even need to check the section actually. I kind of on the other hand, making slight changes to the file could break it. And do I want the application to recover from that by itself without having to restart it? Because if I don't do a check here, or if the section actually exists, then yeah, this method will throw an exception, which is, well, I don't really have global catches, as I remember. Let's check, maybe I do. So show, let's see if there would one, if there was one, it would be here on message, or maybe even handle. It's for one initializes the menus. Oh yeah, this is the one. Is there data? No, handle user message. So this is after that. If not, so there is no try catch. So when I get start menu, it just calls get start menu, which returns this. There is no try catch. Well, try except. Try catch is in Java. This doesn't have anything. So this is the only check that makes sure it won't crash. So I will need to extend it a little bit. So I'm checking list. So the top level will be language. Okay, list, I need section. Section. The language, section name. And I check if name is in the section and language section. And now I need to check if the section or yeah, but first I need to check the section, if the section exists, if section in languages. So this. So first of all, it well gets the value if this it's not or, it should be and, because I need both of these to be true. So both section has to be in the language and dictionary, and name has to be in section dictionary. Right. Otherwise I'll just return the name as, well, whatever the field I was looking for, striked through. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. Why is it complaining about the value? List. Oh, it's called a list, but it's actually a dictionary. Define its type. Dictionary. guess it doesn't really matter at all. You know, type hinting is good practice. If I have a chance, why not? Let's see. So I got that part down, which actually loads the translation. Well, gets the translation where it's needed. Change here. Okay, so I start with a list of files. So this is list. Yeah, so this is how I can, and that gives me where's the variables. So this is POSIX path objects. Okay. So for each, I guess it's pretty much a file. Hopefully I can pass it on to the configuration parser. Where does it get initialized? File read. Can I just use the same configuration parser for multiple files? It would make it so much easier. Have something like this. Oh, I don't really have a configuration parser here. Low translations. Maybe I should pass it along, so I already have one. Config parser. Have it like this. Okay, file in translation files. So for each file, config parser will do the read. Parser, let's see, find its type, so I would have the suggested values or autocomplete work properly. So this passes on, where is it? Parser, which is, what's its type? Name error, not defined. Well, fine here. Okay, well, I guess I can keep complaining. Config parser. Well, I guess that's what's the name of the object or the class. I guess this. Actually, let's not import it unnecessarily, as I have config parser dot config parser. I think this will work as well without adding additional import. But, well, because I only use it once. Well, actually, I used it multiple times. How many times do I reference this library? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. Maybe I should import it. It's kind of more... Yeah, well, I guess it works as it is, so... So config parser read. Then I can get the sections. Oh, so I get the file. So do this. So instead of specific file, we iterate through the list of files. Now we read it. So we get everything into a dictionary. So before we start iterating, I should initialize a dictionary with labels. So this then yeah, have a new dictionary. Well, this dictionary will be with languages. That's what will be the key in this dictionary, and the other dictionary will have tables, because it will have. Wait, doesn't it have to be 3 levels deep? Yeah, I think it has to be. It's no of coffee. Right, languages. Dictionary for file. Well, I guess, yeah, there isn't much of an issue. So I get the file. Yeah, so I get the files, and for each file, then I do this. Config parser reads the file. Yeah, the file has sections, and so I first of all, then I can go into the for each section in big parser. Now the question is, how do I access the sections? I'm trying to remember how I did this recently. Oh, it's one of the so you can access it like it's how do I get all of the values? Can I? Yeah, I don't remember at all. Even though I did it recently. Would be a good resource to find me. Trying to remember because it is not that complicated. I can't remember now. Spot. So I have multiple files, and each file has a section. Sections. Sections keys on self. I guess this is say take file. Now I can go through the actual labels. I guess this is the code that actually uses the section, so don't really need to go far. Quick parser section. So this is how I actually access it, and I get section from parser section. So yeah, this is how I actually get. Oh, I don't really need. Oh yeah. Don't use config parser. I already have. It's initialized. Parser sections. So for each section, I can do. Yeah, list the keys because it is a dictionary, so it works the same way here. So now get the section, I get to the keys, and well, keys are basically well, will be the labels of each field. So this will be the keys. I'll make them a lot simpler. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like they will be well, they will be simpler in this file. In here it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect this code, this part of code in any way. So when I get the key, okay, so it will be languages dictionary that will have for each file. It will add an entry based on the file name. So let's see, initialize it like this. Languages. Would be a good way. Should I use append? Like append is appropriate. Or set. Set default. Set key with a value of default if key is not in the dictionary. And where's the value? Don't see how. Well, I don't really want to set the default. Do I just assign like this? Could be. So we can do this. And file, and I think it's stem. Stem has the name portion of the file like this. We'll have a new dictionary, which should then each time I found a new key, for each section, we'll have new section and dictionary. It is so as a key. I just want to use the keys from the okay. Hey, welcome back, Risk. Files. So this is the name. How are you doing today? Music? What's wrong with the music? Not playing? doesn't sound right. It's too low. Can definitely increase the volume a little bit. How about now? It's not that loud. I'm struggling to sleep these days. It's kind of annoying. File, translation files. So how are you doing today? Getting better? Hopefully. So this is where I get, and for section. Section is a dictionary. Do I want to get the sections itself? Yeah, I guess I just need the keys. Yeah, then I can translate this. Actually need to... Section is sort of like a dictionary, so I can just assign the section as if it was of structure this is. Let's return a... Oh, it does list of keys. It does already return keys. Okay, so I don't really need to call it on top of it. Okay, so that answers that, I guess. Parser. Give it a section. I'm not really sure how this works, but it did work, so I guess it's fine. So this will be a new dictionary as well. Can't really... Yeah, this won't be the full dictionary, it will be just the key that sections return. I'm starting to think that I'm doing this for... don't really get that much benefit from doing all of this. If I access it like a dictionary already... Yeah, let's see what read returns. Pass file, blah blah blah. Return list of successfully read files. So I can read a list of files. Files that cannot be opened are silently ignored. This is designed so that you can specify an iterable of potential configuration file locations. Current directory, user's home directory, system directory, and all existing configuration files in the iterable will be read. A single file name may also be given. And does it return read OK? Is a list. So for each file in file names is instant. Oh, so if it's okay, checks if it's a list of names. Let's see, doesn't want to link me to anything. Oh, is instance, so if string file names is an instance of a string, byte, or path-like object. Yeah, I can, well, it will be path-like object. I guess we'll see. Okay, well, I guess I'll just assign it to dictionaries and be done with it. Because I'm not really sure what kind of values they will be saving. So sections, and finally... Take this plus the key, assign it the value. Your stream needs need a lot of improvements. Well, I'm I'm open to suggestions. What kind of improvements do you have in mind? Not really. Well, yeah. I'm under no illusions that my stream is is in its final form and that it doesn't need any improvements. But I haven't found time to actually sit and starting with good music. Something interesting grabs attention. Okay, the good music, you know, music is quite subjective. So you can't really find a music that everyone will find good. That's the problem. Unless you have a suggestion, because the music you like, it doesn't really, well, it doesn't mean other people will like that music. And this is like I find this like kind of neutral. Like it doesn't get in the way. Well, it's not meant to be listened to, it's meant to be in the background, so it wouldn't be just dead silence when I'm not talking. I talk quite a lot, so... Create a background with one section given to content, one to notifications, and one to your live cam, or just a character. That could be done, yes. Well, I don't want to have to sacrifice space on the screen, because I don't want to be limited. So when I'm looking at the variable values, like all of this is important, like this part is important. When I'm looking at the output of console output, the bottom is important, the center is important when I'm editing a file, and the left side is, I guess, is less important, and that's why I'm fine with having stream text be overlaid over this part. According to me, if someone comes and sees black versus code screen and no one is talking, so feels monotonous. Well, I am talking, I'm always talking. That's when like it's quite rare for me to be silent. Like I can be silent for like 5 seconds, maybe max, sometimes when I'm really thinking about something, but I usually just keep talking. I'm not sure how much of an issue that is. I just got used to like speaking out loud what I'm thinking. Unless you think that's a bad practice, then maybe I should change that. I think it's more educational this way, explaining why what I'm doing and why I'm doing it the way I am, pretty much on each step. I have keys, sections. Oh, this reads that. So now I can actually get this config parser, section, and key, and this should read the value. Yeah, file stem. Right. So this should load all the configuration from all these translation files into a dictionary, which can be used in this manner. We have list. It's probably, well, it's not actually a list, it's a dictionary. It's list This is the name of the variable, I guess. Let's see, translations. Maybe that would be a more descriptive name. Oh no. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Also, Twitch is banning creators a lot these days for using random music from YouTube. I I would be very surprised if I got banned, because I'm such a small streamer that, yeah, music is a big issue. I agree, but I'm not really sure how to solve it. Well, it is a problem. Pokey got unbanned, okay. Well, Pokey, I'm sure she... Well... Pokimane is in a different category of streaming, I would say, than me, so... I don't think the same rules apply to us in the same way. Even though the terms of service... Actually... The gods... What was I saying? Yeah, since I am not even at the level of the associate, I don't think they actually care. I don't think they monitor accounts like this. You can pretty much stream anything you want, unless you have like enough following, because you don't really need to sign up for any rules. So, for example, I can stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, just because how small I am. But if I were to become an associate, then it would be an issue. And the bots from YouTube are back. Where is it? Let's remove this message. Easy. So yeah, basically I can do pretty much anything I want, because I didn't agree to any specific rules about streaming on Twitch. But if I were to become an associate and get additional features on Twitch, I imagine then, yeah, it would come with an agreement with additional rules and so on. So I'm not too worried about getting banned, at the moment at least. Maybe my understanding is flawed, and I'm sure there are rules against streaming, well, copyrighted content. Because I think that's the main issue, because music is usually copyrighted, especially the more popular music, because of the way it is produced and distributed. So yeah, but the just doesn't, no one cares about small creators like me. Like, it only becomes an issue if you get bigger, and until I get well, if I don't get to that point, I think I'm safe. That's at least my understanding. Like, Pokimane makes sense, because Pokimane is huge and so many people watch it, and if she decides, well, or slips up and streams some copyrighted content, then Twitch can get in trouble. But if I stream some copyrighted music, I have no idea how that might affect me. So I don't want to worry about things like that if I don't have to. I want to prioritize other things, like writing code and solving this as soon as possible, and starting the project with you guys. I think that's more interesting. And, well, I wanna dedicate more attention to that than solving if I can actually stream this music or not. Especially now when no one is watching pretty much, so I don't think Twitch will care. Now I have the translations in such structure. Now I need to figure out... Take breaks too? Well, all game breaks. well, a game off stream these days, like, I feel like if you're streaming, you should have certain amount of focus. Like, I don't want to be like streaming a different thing each day. Like, I had 2 months where I streamed Minecraft, but after the competition ended, well, the time for building ended. I didn't really like streaming like different things each day. So when I came up with this project, I kind of want to stick with it for a while, and either the project gets pushed back for some reason, or if I figure out something else I want to work on that's more interesting, maybe then I will switch. But otherwise, yeah, because if you start mixing up, like, I get that this type of switching up, it works really well for, well, being a variety streamer. It is nice when you're like, you have a big enough following that no matter what you do, people just want to see you play the game. But when you have like 1 or 2 viewers, like, it doesn't really, well, maybe I'm wrong, but would you be interested? Let's see. Okay, let's take it for example. Let's show an example. Like, the game I am currently personally interested in is called Naval Action. Let's see, where's my Steam? Make it like this. So yeah, I can play this. Let's open it and show it as an example what it would look like. Give it a second, because it's a Windows only game. I need to stream it from another machine. What does it say? Yeah, maybe I should move it to another desktop, so it would be fine. Yeah, so yeah, see your reaction. So what small games, like, what's the difference? Like Super Mario, like, you want to see me fail, struggle in Mario? How bad I am at Mario? Like, and I don't really enjoy platformers all that much. So it's quick and won't divert. So that's what chess is for. So, well, it doesn't, like, that's why I don't want to do it. Okay, don't want to start playing it. So yeah, this is the game I actually play from time to time, and well, I like naval games in general, exploration games, things like that. And for small games, as a distraction, I had chess. So if you want to play some chess, I'm always down to play some chess. I can still have... Oh, it's not what I meant. Yeah, it's also a flashbang each time I do this, chess.com. I am sorry for, but... I'll not sign up. Again. I think this is right. My password manager, chess. Terraria. Terraria is a cool game, yeah, but you know, it's not a small game by any means. So, you know, I wouldn't call it a small game. It is an indie game. It is a really good game. I agree. It's not a big game. I'm not sure how do you define big and small then? What's the distinction? Because like a small game, a quick game, like I'd say chess would be one of these. So if I do this, yeah, I can challenge people with a link. So I think that's like a type of game that would like fit your description much better than anything else. So it is like a small distraction if people want to play me. So it lets me involve people who are interested playing, and It doesn't take too long. But like playing any game will take the focus away quite significantly. Oh, I think I have this Chrome browser muted. That's why it didn't work. Okay. Because I was trying to listen how to say it correctly, how to pronounce that correctly. Right. Yeah, this is not the point. So, you know, I think I would rather focus on certain things and maybe do a stream doing something else, like maybe once a week, playing some game. I'm not sure. I feel like not having focus is a bad thing, for small content creators at least. Because people who find your stream and start watching it, well, I'm not really all that focused on growing, per se. I first wanna see how, figure out a good way to make progress, like to have a good direction. Because I'm not really looking to stream a game or something like that. Like I'm much more excited about the potential of making a collaborative project with you guys. I think that's a very unique idea. Well, sort of unique, I guess. And it doesn't require, like, it gives me something to do while I grow. So, because if I were to stream like the games I don't play, I don't really enjoy, like I don't really play Terraria. I played through it a couple of times with my cousin, with my brother, like with other people. So it kind of was fun at that time, but I already played through them. So playing through them again, either I need to figure out a certain twist to put on it, or, well, I guess Terraria may be a bad example if I play a new game that I haven't played before. Like, new people won't... I don't feel like it would be appealing for someone who came along to the stream for the first time to look at someone who's fumbling around in a new game that he doesn't really know all that well or at all. Like, I just don't feel like it's a good idea. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, and I'm getting a call as well. I guess I can call back later on. So yeah. I'm not sure, but do you have any counter arguments? Like, why do you think it's so important to have, like, mix in, say, small games, as you say, small gaming content? Like, why do you think it would be an improvement? Because do you think, like, okay, maybe you think that my personality is my strong suit, so it's not about the things I'm doing, it's about how I'm communicating with the people who are watching the stream is the best aspect of my stream, or is it the actual content I'm making? Because I guess in that case, yeah, it would make sense for me to actually make as much of varied content as possible, to expose myself to as many people as possible, so they well, well, I guess that's the only logical, like, way of lag. Well, yeah, lag sucks. Well, I waffle a lot for a long time. So yeah, eventually when you get to that part, yeah, just let me know why, and yeah, give some counter arguments, because this is how I see it, and, well, it doesn't really mean that I'm right. I just want to hear what's your justification. Why would that be an improvement? Because, well, since I'm a developer, I know how to write code, more or less. I can definitely see the content being appealing when I showcase how I go through the development process myself. Especially since I have projects that are actually being used now, like a finalized products that need work, and like this one needs a significant amount of work. At least that's my like a guiding principle, like the logic behind my streams at the moment. Yeah, give me something something more to think about. Well, some more detailed reasoning, I guess. That's what I'm after. Because just saying what to do doesn't really help me all that much. I kind of want to understand why it's a good idea. Music is an issue. It is very subjective, and eventually, if a significant amount of people start watching, then yeah, I will need to sort that out. But for now, it's just something in the background, like an elevator music. That's, I think, completely fine. I don't want people coming here to listen to the music. Music is just there to be in the background. Because if there's no music at all, then it is a little bit odd. Maybe when you're playing a game, you don't really need the music. Not in all games. Some games have a really good music, good background music, and audio quality in general. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have one thing I want to check. Can you actually watch back the stream? Can you see if I open this, mute it? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, you can go back in the stream, and if you missed something, you can go back and rewatch it. Oh, it was okay. The browser is muted. It doesn't really matter. Right, so getting back to this, translations. The loading part should work. If that's how the config parser actually works, if I understand it correctly. So it assigns it to languages, and languages in the end has to be assigned to the variable itself. And it is labels. Right. How should I actually do this? See, menu. When it gets initialized, that's where it gets the different values. So it gets translation like this. Now I made it so it needs an additional variable. So that's labels. The user. I think I have a language extracted somewhere. Yeah, self language. So that's where it's assigned. Language is a string. Probably make it easier if I have them defined here. Don't have to memorize or go check what kind of variables. Oh, it's a string. What's this here? I don't remember. Going to buy eggs. Okay, well, eggs are good. Good. Well, it's the best source of protein, of high quality protein. Think about like if. Hopefully you heard my small rant. Not sure. I wanna hear more of your ideas though. Because all of those things, like I don't really see why would they help. Because just, well, I'm not really sure how they would help. Right, basic setup, menu ID. So menu ID is actually now becomes a section. Right. Oh yeah, so it takes the section and the language comes, it has language already here. Yeah, self-language. So it passes on the language, so I get the language. And the section is the menu ID. Okay. I guess that's simple enough. Let's see, an ID, where is it? I think it's the last parameter now. Yeah, language and then section. So all the instances that call get translation from the helper need to have language and have menu ID. All of them have access to it or not. Self ID them. I think that's the right way. Self. I should define it the menu as well. So ID also a string. Right. Translation. Menu item. Get list, text options. So works pretty much the same way. Of ID. More translations here. Here. Self ID as well. I think that should be enough. I think it should work now. Well, I guess we'll see. Hopefully it does. Okay, singleton doesn't have attribute label. Labels. So this is where labels dictionary. Okay, so I get the same issue again. Oh, assign it a value. Languages. Yeah, assigned as a dictionary. I didn't finish that. Well, that was it. Oh, it started. Okay, so the configuration loaded. It's always good. Where's my test bot? And it didn't get something was lost. Section translation language and name and translation. Oh. Non-type object, so something doesn't have a value. So translation language or translation section or translations. It has to be a dictionary. It is a dictionary. Because it takes labels from the singleton. You get assigned here. And it loads translations. Oh, this gets redefine. That's not good. Okay, so this is bad. Oh, so this is... Wait, no. This is before low translations. Okay, remove this declaration. It's no longer needed. So this creates the dictionary, actual dictionary, and assigns it to labels. Okay, let's have this execute again. Have a breakpoint and take a look. Languages, yeah, it has has everything you would expect. All the fields, all good. Oh, it has. Oh, okay. Completely forgot about the actual translation files. They need to be updated. So now sections are expected to be right. So language is both menu and the label. I guess let's start with the start menu. I think that's the easy one yet. So start menu is initialized like this. It has start menu as its ID. Okay, so start with that. Yes, I can have it separate old translations. I can actually see which part of the translation has been moved and which still has to be moved. Let's see, section, start menu, is the name of the section. Now the question is, well, at least looking at the examples in the documentation, it doesn't have to be uppercase, so I guess I'll leave it like this. Now in the menu, so this is the ID and this is the menu items. Actually, how do I do this? Because those come from a different section, don't they? I guess it's not a bad thing. Bot menu, list bots, language selection. It kind of makes sense to have them here. Have label. I'm pretty sure it has a label or title. Menu list title. We have main menu. Language selection. I think all of this is in the old way. This is updated way, and hello. Language selection, title. Okay. Need to sort out how the names are actually being loaded now. The title has title at the end, description has description in the end. This title ID. So main menu has all of these parts. Well, and that's how it gets loaded. So it's at the beginning, it no longer needs menu ID. I think that's the main thing. So the main parts of the message. And just on the weekend the bots get more active. Block. Script title, description, this title. So now for the start menu to actually get loaded properly, I need start menu, and then start menu needs all of these fields defined on. Oh, actually it wasn't a menu. Title, description, list title. General. Well, if it doesn't have it defined, then it's gonna be an empty string. So there's a title, description, list title. And bot. Start menu title. Oh yeah, so all of this. Okay. Wait here. Start menu. So title, description, list title. So this is just the message in general, and the way it lists options is a little bit different. So yeah, this is the main bulk, and when I do, okay, so it assigns variables. When I call show, so it gets the title, which is bold, gets description, a new line, get options title, so it makes an empty line. Oh, so basically enter twice, new line character twice, and then get text options. This is the interesting part. So it uses name in list as menu item ID. It's of the upcoming items. Okay. Labels, language. Oh. So menu item ID is actually, that's what should be used. Well, to match this current scheme, how I save them. So what that means, that each of the menus that are listed as options, so for example in the start menu, yeah, we have new bot, list bots, and language selection menus. So all of these need to be, okay, let's move it to the side so I can see it at the same time. All of these have to have their dedicated sections. This, list bots, languages, and in those it will be looking for start, no, it will be looking for name and list. So this value will actually be shown in the menu that has, well, in the lead up menu. that will list this menu as an option. So if there are multiple ways to get to the same menu, they will have, well, they will show the same name, both lists. So that's, I guess, the idea. That's why it's done this way, which is, I guess, is a fine way. I don't really see a reason to change it, or I don't see any issues with doing it this way. I guess I'll just stick with it. And now I need to find, oh, I wish it highlighted. Let's see, find email list, wrap. Don't really want to replace it with anything. I just want to highlight it. Seems like that's an option. So, new bots menu. Okay, list title, name in list. Okay, so this, create new bot. I guess all of this can be moved. So, new bot menu, everything what we have here can be moved here. What menu? So all of this can be removed. Description, new bot menu, list title, name in list. Name in list being the one that we're currently after. Then list bots. I guess it only has the title. Doesn't have anything else. Title, menu title. Like it should have something else, but it doesn't. Language selection. Now, language selection might be a bit different. No, I guess it's not. Description doesn't have any. Okay. Language selection. I'm sure I'm making a plenty of typos. Or right, title, name in list. Okay, let's move it ahead. So it would be the first variable. Please have some consistency. Right. I think it should be fine because, well, I won't be using it with any other language now. My language currently is set to be English. Let's see. So it shouldn't crash, but it does. Okay. When gets translation, non-type. So there is an issue. So creating menu gets translation here. So tries to do title ID. That doesn't sound right. Takes menu ID. Oh, so menu ID. Title ID is title. This here. How does it fail to read it? Okay, let's do the debug again. See what the actual result languages looks like. So, take English. Yeah, it has start menu, has the title, start menu. So, guess that's not the issue. and go to the menu where the actual error happens. Error happens in here. I can do this. So yeah, this gets the initial parts of the menu that, well, if it has them. So now we can go to the breakpoints, singleton, this one, let it run. Okay, it runs, so now hit another breakpoint. I do, but oh, the basic setup already crashes. I guess. No? What? Non-type. So already asks for a translation, but hasn't reached that point, so how does it crash? And that's a little bit odd. So let's see. Messages is the one I'm interested in. So it is a dictionary, but an empty dictionary. Okay, that's not good. Messages get start menu. Gets passed on a broken variable, it seems. It's anymore. Get start menu. That gets called here, get start menu. Well, it doesn't really have to rely on this anymore. Get user data. Actually, it is in the handle message. Get start menu. Oh, it doesn't pass anything. Oh, this is what gets sent, and yeah, messages is just declared as an empty dictionary. So yeah, we don't need to pass this anymore, and actually don't use it here, and we use sing labels. Yeah. So now still doesn't work. Okay, what's wrong this time? The breakpoint is in the right spot. Okay, now it didn't crash yet. See, messages, it's still none. Ooh, that's not good. On labels, oh, this is none. None. Okay. This, I guess. Yeah, labels. Yeah, it has the translations. The English does have the names of the menus. Then the fields, on top of other things. Log to file. Does it have logging? This title, and it has a bunch of other things. Doesn't seem right. Okay, let's see tables. Both translations. Oh. To assign it here, I return it. And it gets assigned here. Then, well, yeah. Okay. Dumb was extra stupid, as always. Should have made, well, okay. Maybe it works this time? No, it does not. Let's run in debug again. So here, init, messages. This time it has the dictionary, that's good. And let's step inside of this one. So language is English. Selection, start menu, and the name is title. So let's try that, following this logic. So translations, then go English. Yeah, EN. Then start menu. Here. Then title. Just start menu, okay. So this should work. Yeah. Start menu. Hello. Okay. So I guess it crashes. Oh. Project has no attribute menu item ID. Okay, I don't remember touching these. Oh, it's not self menu ID. Okay, it's just a menu ID. It doesn't come from the object, it's just menu item is here. For each key, value pair. Yeah. It's an odd way to iterate through over a dictionary, but I guess that doesn't really matter. Whatever. Okay, let's do debug this time. No, let's not run it. Just run normally and see if it crashes. That's the key. It doesn't. Yay! So it works now. So it loads translations and actually sends them. Yay! So now we have an implementation where I can just add another file and it will be an option. So, well, we'll probably complain about something. Super takes 2 instead of 5. So menu definition got changed. Right. Self menu ID. Then it uses language, passes along language. When did I change to not accept language? Get the language from basic setup, I imagine here. Language, user language, so it takes language from the user object. So there's no need to pass along language separately. Okay, that's fair. No need to accept it. Well, is there? Item ID. I think that, I guess this is the details of individual menu implementations. I guess I can fix. Where does it call super here? It doesn't even call super. Wow. Oh yeah, user input I guess doesn't really need all the things. Just one string pretty much asking you to input so and so. Okay. Yeah, it accesses language like this, which is fine. And yeah, since it has the user and basic, it calls the same basic setup, which extracts the language into the language variable, all good. See user type. I think I have user defined as a class. Configuration classes. Yeah, so user in classes. So I can define it as a type. So each time I access it, it actually knows what I refer. It's in classes. Haven't I imported class? I did, so I can use this classes user. So it knows that this is the type of the variable. So now when I access it, I actually access it. Well, I guess I can just do it here. And yeah, I get all the values, all the fields declared on that object, on that class. Oh, well, just a convenience thing. Sing tables, blah blah blah. And this all looks good. Okay, what's next? Well, I guess we can test if the language menu now works. Well, won't really work per se, but run again. I think it should have like a bunch of strike through tables. No, it doesn't. Still something gives the wrong takes from 3 to 4, but 5 were given. Menu. Seems like it was wrong right from the beginning. Why does it need an extra parameter? Language selection, so that's the menu name. This, I guess, was supposed to be the field that indicates what's the name of each option. Yeah, I think this was supposed to be like special variable. And now really sure how it will work. How should it work? So language. I have very little recollection how I made this. It's called super, which initiates all the stuff. D messages, menu item IDs. Doesn't pass on the user? User gets, yeah, the user gets, should be passed along. So should accept user, because it's kind of important. Have the user appropriate data. Where does language menu gets called? Oh, it is in the start menu. I have a separate class. There are menus. Just bot language menu. So So when it calls language menu, it actually passes on the user. And for other variables, messages comes along from here. Use user language menu. Item ID is an empty. Okay, so it doesn't pass that at all. So it has ID, user, and messages. And menu items is nothing. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I was supposed to implement this. I don't remember. I remember it being a special case. I guess this is just... this implementation has to be changed. I need to figure out a good way to abstract common functionality in the menus into one class. Well, at least that was the idea originally. So how this is implemented. But now I need, well, it doesn't seem to be flexible enough. So like language selection menu becomes like a special case where it's not really handled like a menu, like all the other menus. Not really sure what would be the best choice as well. Like my noggin is not really turning today, so thinking is not my strong suit for now, at least. Well, for today, I mean, I need some proper sleep before I can start thinking of design decisions, because it is quite a major decision. How do I want to structure the classes and how to make flexible? So what, I guess I can just define the requirements, what I need from the parent class. So I like how it's done. So basic setup should be the same for all the menus. All menus have their title, they need the context and the user accessible. So the ID is the name of the menu, like it's an ID of the menu. Language, just for convenience, well, since it's basically in the user. Context. It should have more fields. Oh yeah, I guess the basic fields, the very basic ones, get defined in the constructor itself. Which one doesn't get called by... oh yeah, it does get called. It doesn't get called by selection menu. Well, user input menu. Well, I guess it's called a menu, but it's just a request. Like how it looks is when you call the bot, you say you want something. Let's go into the creation because that's where it actually is used. So, for example, when I want to set something, oh yeah, that would be a good example. That's where the user input menu comes along. So this would be called the user input menu. And all it has is just one string asking you to enter certain data. So there, this is asked for the guild name. So that's why it doesn't really need all this. Or maybe I should keep it well, along the same lines. So it would have its own title. It would have its own description, options title. Maybe it could have something like that. In that case, I could use description, for example, to indicate what kind of field is being edited. Because to know what you're actually doing, where the data will be used, you need to scroll up and look at the previous messages. But So I imagine this being like, maybe I could implement something like breadcrumbs. Like breadcrumbs on the web page are, well, the breadcrumbs is a feature of websites. Yeah, I imagine all the, okay, this one doesn't have them. So there goes my statement that I haven't even finished. That all languages? No, no. Can I find a website that has breadcrumbs at all? Documentation page should have breadcrumbs. So yeah, this is the breadcrumbs. So this indicates the path you took to get here. And this lets you quickly go back to the certain page in your path as well. But yeah, I could have something like this in the menu. Well, they won't let you get back to that because I guess they could, but I won't do that. that's a little bit too complicated. A little bit, yeah. The effort it would take to implement and the usefulness users would get from it is very questionable. Right. So yeah, if I could have like a title asking like, please enter so and so field, then it would have a for. Yeah, would it make sense? That's what I'm thinking. So for example, enter the name of the guild. Okay, so this could be the title. Titles are in bold. So like this. Oh. Okay, let's try again. Then the next line could have configuring. How should I word this that it would make sense? But it has to make sense in each possible scenario, because the variables I have access to is the names in like the field names, the labels, and so on. Enter the name of the guild for Killbot. If I use the name of the bot being set up for Killbot, and then yeah, I don't think. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking this. I can't really think of a good way to implement. Well, I could add a bunch of information, but I feel like then it would be a lot of useless reading. Maybe the title could stay. So it would be like a short version of what it is asking for. Instead of just plain text like this, it would say, please enter the name of the guild, and then give an optional description with examples underneath. Something like this. Guild of the name. You want to get messages about. There are multiple guilds, yeah, so something like this. I think maybe even having a line break, an additional line like this. No, I don't like this. I don't really like either. With or without a space, I would like it to have maybe. Yeah, but it trims out the empty space at the start of the message. Yeah. So even if I add a character, empty space, yeah, doesn't actually register. It just trims empty space at the beginning of the message. Because what I would like is to have like this, spaced out from the name. Because now the bolded text looks very similar to the name. I guess it's just, well, general readability I think would be improved that way. Otherwise I think it's fine. So yeah, maybe I need to change the implementation. I guess I need to think about how I actually want to implement this, so it would be nice and convenient to use. So I would have a menu defined with all these basic features, like having a title, label, well, title, well, currently it has a title, a description, and then an extra line could be added before the actual list of options. So, for example, this would be the title. Is it the title of this menu? Might be, don't remember. But the title should be bolded. I don't really see anything bolded here. Well, there are some settable, like these values are bolded, but they are bolded for a different reason. I think this menu is just not implemented correctly. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong bot. Yeah, this bot. That bot doesn't have, like, that bot, yeah. The production bot, yeah, this one has it. So yeah, the start menu is bolded. It is a little bit different, so. So yeah, that would be the title, this would be the description, and this would be the list of, well, title for the list of options. So now, well, on top of that, it has a list of options, and now it will have a list of buttons as well. So all of that can be implemented in the main class. And currently I have two variations. It's language menu being a separate case, special case. Just because of the names of the languages. Because, well, can I do it the same way? Or I pass on menu item IDs as if those languages were separate menus. Yes, I can. Let's see, current menus work like this. I think this is a good example of generic menu. So it takes, well, it makes a dictionary. I guess it should be changed, like the context should be declared, well, it should be like a user in classes, so it should be a data class. Yeah, I think it would make the most sense. Then I wouldn't have to rely on constants and dictionaries and crap like that that everyone says is, well, I agree as well that it's a bad way to implement this. Well, yeah, implement code, write code in general, having to rely on constants and say, well, these can't be helped, I don't think. Well, I guess they can declare constants, and then instead of actual labels, use the constants, because, well, this is the same thing, it's just declared in a different spot. But instead of these, I would pass on an object, an instance of an object, like context of. Oh, actually, I need to initialize it here. But yeah, the context only has the list of options. Yeah, so it would be I need to think of what other information could be passed along in the context as well. I guess I can start with this, start small, and then expand it if needed. The only well, the issue, I guess I can just, it doesn't have to be one line, yeah. I can just extract it here, the definition, and make it more manageable. Yeah, declare another data class. Class context. Maybe I should declare what kind of context. Menu context. Yeah, let's do this. And then it has menu items. Could have menu items as a dictionary. Typos. So now, how using it would look like. So context variable would be an instance of context, and as a constructor it takes one dictionary. This. That dictionary will be automatically assigned to menu items. So context. Yes, I can even specify, well, to make it a little bit more future-proof, if I can call it like that. So the actual position wouldn't matter. So what's items? Right. So in theory, it should work. I create new menu context where I assign menu values because, well, that's what data classes do. Menu T items. So I made a typo here. Okay. And now the initialization will be a little bit different as well. Context. So context is no longer a dictionary, it is value type menu context. So, okay, this gets passed along to this basic setup, and basic setup also should declare it as it imports menu okay, I guess it can. Context here. It just assigns context to the variable. Okay. So we have context now. Assign here. Type menu context. So I can do the same with user, because, well, so I won't have to use this classes everywhere. This, let's see, where do I reference it as well? I think this is it. Reference only in 2 places. Okay. This. Right. Now I can check where the context is being accessed. So yeah, menu items is no longer well, this is no longer a dictionary, so get access to menu items, I just call menu items. Same here. Oh, the difference is slight, but very important. Let's see. So now menu item variables. Oh, so this is another thing. Okay. That is passed along the context. So certain menus have fields declared in them. So for example, well, yes, I can show it here. Well, on the old bot. So let's see. Well, I guess this menu works as well. So certain fields like this has a bunch of variable names, like well, a bunch of variables. So the name is anything you assign. Could be, let's assign something. Guild monitor. So yeah, C guilds, assign case. Yeah, now it should. Oh yeah, the guild's monitor is haze now. Previously it was not assigned. So this is where all these values that need to be like incorporated into this or any other part of the text get inserted. And those actual values come from, well, are saved in the context as well. And context item variables, that's how it... Is it a list? So context, let's see, item variables. Oh, so this is the constant of, yeah, menu item bars. Oh, well, it's using dictionaries and... Right. So it iterates if context and text. Where does text come from? Oh, so the oh, this is the handling input. What? Oh, so it checks. Wait, is this just to validate inputs? Like array of variables passed to the mapped function. I guess it doesn't. Yeah, I think mine. Yeah. Label fields. Oh, that's what I was looking at. So it has two variables in the context. So fields that will be set, like I showed here, and then where is it? Fields again. Validation method. Validation success. Well, my lack of sleep is really killing me here. Can't really... Oh, so these are the variables. So the variables are the possible options and select. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Variables passed to the map function. Oh, so whatever needs to be passed along, like through the context as variable. So yeah, that's I'm kind of recalling. Where is it? It's not actually. Oh, so function mapping user context, tables text, variables text. Oh, this is such a convoluted way. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't use dictionaries, because then it is impossible to keep track of what is what, because these are all just strings. That's not even string. This is what comes from the user input. Text, message, context. Yeah, so yeah, this is horrible. Horrible and terrible and horrible again. It should never have, well, it should have never been done this way, but it is. Right, and to fix this, so we have menu items, we have field, field values, I think. Or should it be a list? Yeah, now I don't even know what type of structure it's supposed to be. Let's see. So when I create context like this, just has menu items, the dictionary. Menu items stand for. Oh, it's a variable. Okay. This is the wrong example to be looking at. I need to be looking at other menus, like list bots menu. Yeah, that one. That's the one that actually uses. Yeah, user input menu. So this is how it actually constructs the context. So it passes along a success method. So what to call if and validation method. So which method will verify if the input is correct, and what will be called when the input is correct. Okay. It shows that it has other menus. Doesn't look like it initializes any other menus. This is terrible. Well, I guess this is a future something I will have to rework, figure out a good way to implement. Because this is not really a good way to do this. It's close, but not exactly there. Like, it uses way too many constants and like all variable like dictionary declarations like that. Like it's not right. It's not convenient. It's not easy to maintain or read it, easy to understand or easy to keep track of. So yeah, the data classes will be my salvation in this case. All of this nonsense like this, like these, because this bullet does it enters a string. So replaces all of this with a string, because this is a dictionary, which, well, no longer should be a dictionary. Yeah, well, we have data classes for that. So yeah, I guess this is a project for the next stream. Well, I guess since the actual goal of this stream today was to figure out a good way to load translations, and we did that quite successfully. Now, I guess I didn't actually, I only sorted out a little bit of English translation, although the languages are still, don't conform to the new format, but this can be done in the future. For now, I'll make everything work with English, and maybe then I can translate that into other languages. But yeah, so this is done, and I'm really happy with the with the solution I came up with, because what it lets me, introducing new languages is extremely easy. I just create a new file with shorthand for that language. Like, let's say I want to add like German, so I add de.txt and just have all the. Pretty much I copy this file, English language, replace all the strings with the German versions of it, and it will just work. You won't have to do any changes in the code. The files will be of manageable size. All the different types of configuration, like login configuration, is a separate file. The configuration that has some details that shouldn't be shown, shouldn't be public, are separated into another file. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the configuration is, management is implemented now. And I think I will use the same scheme in other projects as well, because this is very flexible and it is very useful in general. There are other ways to implement localization. There's a built-in way by Python. It has some standard libraries and functions for handling localization, but those are quite cumbersome and not really flexible enough for my case, because what it does, it treats your application like it's a desktop application where you pick a different language and all the components should be translated to another, well, to switch to using that language, like all the labels and so on, which kind of makes sense. But my application is being used by multiple users at the same time, so it kind of has to have all the languages at the same time, and that is not actually supported. So you can switch from one language to another, which is fine, but you can't switch like between, like, two users can't be using it at the same time and have two different languages selected. Then they start interfering with each other. At least if I use the built-in, that's why I have to use this configuration parser to have translations in different, like I treat like the labels and the translations as part of the configuration, which works fine, so it's good enough. Like the loading, the management is I guess it could be simplified if I use some third-party library, but I think this is a small price to pay to have to not have a dependency on some third-party library. So okay, but I think this is all for today. Well, for some reason it shows that I have actual viewers watching now, which is unusual. Well, it's not that unusual, but usually I know who's watching at the moment. So if in case those guys are new, you should check out, like, there's a project I want to do with my viewers where well, in future, I think over the next week I'll set up a GitHub repository where me and the viewers, there are some regular viewers that want to actually, well, who are interested in the program and want to get involved, and to give them a chance to facilitate that, I think, well, I thought of an idea where we can work on the same project. Like, we can figure out what kind of project. Well, I have a pitch, like in previous streams, like it is it takes me a while to explain it in detail, so I won't bother here, especially since I've done it a couple of times already. But well, the point of it is that people will be able to access the source code, not just access, like they would be able to make changes, commit, and share those changes as if on normal project, like where you have, like in enterprises, you have teams working on implementing applications. So yeah, Git is the thing. So this is a bunch of repositories I have, well, I'm using for myself. So I'll add another one. Well, I'll create a GitHub one. We'll connect to it and create some structure, initial structure, maybe some starting documents, and then I will, well, the idea is that the viewers who want to contribute, like maybe want to practice a certain technique I explain, or just have, well, it will let people share their code or contribute in some way to the project. And the benefit is twofold, I guess. If the project gets actually finished and done, which is not unreasonable, even though the project might be a bit complicated at first, I think we'll manage it. Like, every project might, I imagine all the projects seem daunting at first, unless they are completely trivial. But anything that is useful, it is kind of normal to feel like it is a little bit out of a little bit big, too big maybe. But I don't think that's an issue, personally. And so yeah, but disregarding that, because I imagine that's the main concern, that it won't get finished. Even if it doesn't get finished, you get some experience, and if you're looking to be a developer at some point, you will always have something to show for as some experience, you won't be just relying on proving your skill by explaining how much you studied and how many like projects you made at home while learning or studying a certain language. You would actually be able to point out an open source project, because it will be open source, because that's what GitHub is for, pretty much, to publishing uh, like your projects uh, to be accessible for everyone. Well, so the so it will be beneficial to those who contribute in that way. At the very like in the worst case, you would be able to show that, oh, I contributed to so and so project which does so and so. And like my initial pitch for a project would be to implement a VPN with like cryptocurrency features where, well, the idea is you contribute to the VPN by providing your traffic to be used as an exit node, and you earn crypto that way. And people who want to use the VPN will be the ones who will be paying the crypto, and and there has to be an additional layer of managing the blockchain network, because you need to have that. Either we will, or if it's too complicated, maybe we will introduce, like maybe we'll just decide that, okay, we need to use a certain crypto. We'll take a already working crypto with its own blockchain and just implement payments and, well, and compensations for participating like in the network, in the VPN. So something like that. Like that's my initial idea, and yeah, some people have thought that it might be a little bit too complicated, but I think with time, like, so, but yeah, I'm open to other suggestions. So far, no one came up with anything more interesting to work on. So if it's something you're interested, if it sounds like something you're interested in, join my Discord. I had it linked in my Twitch profile description, whatever it is. Yeah, and I will be making posts. Like for now, it's just I just created it because it's, everything is just. Yeah, this whole thing came to, like, this idea came to me like during this week, so nothing has actually been done. Now it's all in like discussion phase. So we're discussing if it's a good project, what kind of project we want to tackle, and so on. But yeah, I expect that during the next week I will have a GitHub repository working. Maybe we'll accept initial commits, and hopefully by that point we will have a final decision on what kind of project we want to work on. Well, VPN downside with VPN is probably we won't be using Python. We will probably have to use some other language, but that's still not clear. Well, I guess when we decide on the project, then I will start making themed streams where I go through at first basic principles, how that, for example, if you're gonna be doing a VPN, like basic streams explaining networking, how VPN works, what kind of features it needs to have, maybe looking at some existing implementations, how they are done, and based on that, then maybe we can start building a model of the application we want to make. And beyond that, then we can start thinking about the implementation details, like what languages to use, what libraries to use, what should be the structure of the whole application, and so on. So yeah, that's the idea. If you're new here and you're interested in that, you can take a look. But yeah, for today I'm done. And next stream will be tomorrow morning, because yeah, well, tomorrow the same time, I imagine. I can't imagine. I don't think I'll be streaming today. Well, I usually stream twice a day, unless I have. Well, I didn't get enough sleep, so that's short, long and short of it. If I get enough sleep, I stream twice a day, like 2-3 hours each time. Or if I don't, I join this stream in the morning. And for the next stream, that will be tomorrow morning. What will I be doing next stream? Maybe figuring out, like, implementing a new way. A base class, like rewriting this base class for menus. Yeah, I think that could be a good good idea. Like familiarizing with what is implemented here, because I have no remember. Like this has been written, like I've written this like a year ago or so. I barely remember what's actually how it's supposed to work. And like I've used plenty of these constants and dictionaries, which makes it very well, it's hard to read. Like this I can go through, this is kind of clear what it tries to do here. Yeah, so I guess I'll do this and see if I figure out a better way. Well, I'll try to improve it, improve on it, like as I did in previous streams with other mechanics, with other things. Yeah, so I guess that could be the theme for the next stream, and that's gonna be tomorrow. But I'm done for today. Okay, and I can stop streaming.